Welcome to this week's edition of Tourismus Namibia, where we will bring you quite a number of topics and then obviously concentrate on destinations and to the point. My name is Frank Steffen and I will be leading you through the show. First up, we obviously have topics. Right, topics it is, and we're actually talking about Wlotzkasbaken, that little seaside resort that was until now always reserved for a couple of hard go-getters who would love to stay next to the sea, and unfortunately for them that's coming to an end now. The small holiday settlement will, it's north of Swakopmund, is to be enlarged with shops, modern residential areas and a local administration. The Irongo Regional Council has already launched an environmental impact study, and just as a background, Wlotzkasbaken was declared a settlement area in 1993 already, and the administration is in the hands of the Regional Council. So although it is located within Dorob National Park, the settlement is excluded from the park. A significant portion of this urban area is undeveloped due to biophysical sensitivity. The planned targeted development will take place south of the existing Wlotzkasbaken. So Wlotzkasbakeners were always very proud to have their little secluded area, and for one or another reason that seems to be past tense now. I know it's been a bone of contention for some time now, because often it was regarded as an exclusive area held by the previously advantaged. Apart from that, you also found that it still has no water supply and electrical supply, and that was part of the appeal, I suppose, for those people who bought there. So let's see what happens to that one. Then we're looking at the NWR Marathon, NWR being obviously Namibia Wildlife Resorts, our local or parastatal holiday organization, and it is hosting a half marathon event at Grosbarmen on 27th of May to raise awareness about the ongoing rhino poaching in Namibia. So participants will have the option to choose from different race categories. Throughout the race, there will be informative signposts and banners promoting anti-poaching initiatives, rhino conservation and sustainable tourism practices. The event will also feature a market showcasing local crafts and products, with some proceeds going towards supporting anti-poaching initiatives and rhino conservation programs in Namibia. So that's quite a nice little initiative. I must say, I've been around the country in these past few weeks, and it just seems as if NWR is ever so slowly picking up their feet. They're really getting better all the time now. So let's hope that they can really get this thing under control, because we often were reporting on the show even about lesser quality sometimes in certain resorts, and I think it's nice to see that it's picking up and they're really getting their show together. Right, up next we've got human-wildlife conflict, obviously something that we talk about regularly on the show. And out of 33 people killed by wild animals since 2019, 15 lost their lives in 2022 and 4 were killed this year, mainly by crocodiles, hippos and elephants. So since 2019, the Environmental Ministry has paid 24.1 million in compensation for losses caused by wild animals, and says that incidences of human-wildlife conflict have intensified due to an increase of wildlife populations and recurring droughts. So these conflicts also seem to overshadow the benefits as well as opportunities created from living with wildlife. And we're back to this old story that we've spoken of so often, is that if we don't get help for those people who need the help so as to live together with wildlife or alongside wildlife, if we fail to get that help, the person who owns that land will end up having no choice but to say, you know what, it's nice to tell us all we should look after wildlife, but I cannot afford it and I need to look after my family. So it's in the interest of us all to understand that if we want these animals to be part of our heritage, we need help, and we need it big time. And this is not something that should be called handouts. We've spoken about it before. Anyway, up next we've got destinations. Yeah, welcome back. And up first, we've got La Marmite. La Marmite is situated in Independence Avenue. So if we look at this map, you've got a rough idea, more or less, where it is. We've got the Ministry of Gender Equality just across from it. And on the rear, you see the Tsumeb sheds. Anyway, and so La Marmite is in Windhoek, obviously, and offers the best in African cuisine, as they put it, offering an appetizing meal and catering to all tastes and preferences. So the big thing about La Marmite, if we look at the photos really, you will see this is typically homemade food, but look at this, it's not bad, it's really nice food. So La Marmite obviously having a bit of a special, I suppose, special taste. So go and try it out. It's something totally different, really specialized towards African cuisine. And so if you are somebody who wants to taste something different, maybe that's the way to go. Anyway, have a look at the video.
Restaurants. Welcome to this segment of Tourismus. We are at La Marmite restaurant, situated alongside Independence Avenue, opposite Poepkowitz Haval. Welcome, sir. Thank you for availing the opportunity.
Thank you very much.
And just a brief introduction for the viewers. What is La Marmite and when were you established? And obviously, a brief introduction of yourself.
Okay, I can first correct, we pronounce La Marmite.
La Marmite.
La Marmite is in French, that means pot.
Okay.
Yeah, so I came to Namibia way long ago with my parents were diplomat, long time, just after independence, yes, and I moved back to Namibia after my parents left, and I decided to open a restaurant called La Marmite, which was dealing more in traditional food. And because in that time there were no really traditional restaurant, and the demand was quite high for the tourists were coming, they were always looking for where to eat something local, and that's where I started at that moment. Where you see I am now still in the business for almost 20 years. Yes, that I started.
And then in terms of the cuisine, have you stuck to the traditional cuisine, or has your menu now become more broader?
My menu become more broader now because not doing only traditional cuisine. I'm trying to accommodate for everyone. We have Western cuisine, African cuisine, and we get, I can say all what someone would love to eat, you can find it here. If you talk from seafood, from vegetarian, we have a very wide menu. Yes.
And in terms of the dining experience, what sets La Marmite, am I pronouncing it correctly?
La Marmite. Yeah.
What sets La Marmite apart from other establishments that are also in Windhoek?
Yes, La Marmite, number one, we are doing, I would say, kind of gastronomic cuisine because we always cook what the customer order. We're more doing quite, I would say, complicated cuisine. It's not really easy to come out with a nice ragu, stew, and different. That's most restaurants are more divert and grilling. That is not easy. But here you will find like different type of stew, different type of, I would say, vegetable cook different way. We actually using, I would say, the term gastronomy because it's like A to Z cuisine we are doing. Like you see, starting the process, and we are not like some other restaurant where all the food are like pre-cooked and we have to just dip in the oil or put in the oven. Yeah, here the process is from A to Z, you can say.
And then in terms of your operating hours, for people that would want to come and sit down, have a meal or grab a sundowner or just have a quick coffee before they go into work.
Yes. Oh yeah, for this restaurant here, we actually start from 11 o'clock at the moment, but we are looking forward to open us from 8 o'clock. Yeah, because you can see we are doing the new rebranding of La Marmite on this side of Independence Avenue. But our other branch in Zoo Park start from 8 o'clock. So, and it's almost the same menu we have. Yes.
And then your patrons that usually come to La Marmite,
Yeah.
what can they expect in terms of the exciting programs that you have lined up for them for 2023?
Oh, okay. La Marmite here, like you say, we are kind of change it to a more sitting, relaxing ambience, like lounge that you see now. We are more having more lounge seat, and then because we want to cater now more for local, because after COVID, when COVID came, we had quite difficulty to receive the foreign guests that we used to, and I found out I don't want to do the same mistake again. So I would rather now focus with local, and I think the local like more comfortable and lounge and sitting and have drinks and meal after, because most of the people now come first for a drink and then later they decide to eat. So that's what for the 2023, that's what I can say. We have more uh, the lounge ambience. Yes.
And then social media and online, where can people that would be interested and that are watching this video find you?
I think to La Marmite, yes, on the Hotmail, sorry, on the Facebook, and then for the lounge that hosting La Marmite is powering the launch that is called Corazon. So if you go to Corazon 061, you will find all our descriptions and the pictures if you want to see all the I can say what's going on to La Marmite now. That's where you can find us in Corazon 061. Yes.
We hope you do come to La Marmite. I myself would be making a turn here very soon to come and sample their offerings. Thank you for tuning in. Goodbye.
Right, and that's La Marmite. Up next, we've got the Swakopmund Guesthouse, obviously in Swakopmund. And actually, if you look at the map, it's quite a nice little site that we're looking at there. It's not far from the old age home, so it's away from the hustle and bustle of the town. You can see there it's in the same road that leads down past the Lions old age home before you later turn off towards Warfish Bay. That's the yellow road that leads downwards to the, on this picture you can basically see it leading down to the south. But anyway, it's just up the road from there. You have Swakopmund Guesthouse. So the assistant manager at the Swakopmund Guesthouse, Jackie Kennedy, talks about how the 14-year-old guest house came about and what they have to offer. It is situated in the town centre, as shown, and a mere 5-minute walk from the beach and all main shopping areas. So, quite a nice place to be. You can clearly see here on the photo I wouldn't say super luxury, but it's definitely very nice. It's your typical guest house as you know them in Namibia. They have everything you need, and that's really what it's all about, isn't it? But have a look at the video.
Hi, I'm Jackie Kennedy. I'm the assistant manager of Swakopmund Guesthouse. And 14 years ago, it was the residence of the grandparents of the owner, existing owner. And so they built on and redesigned it into a beautiful guest house.
How many years ago was this?
14 years ago, they started with a guest house. And we've got luxury rooms, 8 standard rooms, and 1 family suite. Our standard rooms, they've got twin or double beds in, and all the luxury have got twin beds in. And then we also got this nice 4 rooms with their own courtyard for privacy, where they have a nice outside sitting area, which is also beautiful with a beautiful garden.
What makes Swakopmund Guesthouse stand out from all the other guest houses?
Swakopmund Guesthouse is situated in town and also in the old Swakopmund, close to the beach, close to restaurants, everything in walking distance, so it's ideal for the guests coming from a long road trip. They can just park their car here and do anything on foot. Our rooms are beautifully decorated and lets you feel fresh, clean and light and bright. The whole decoration here looks like a beach house. And we just got that friendly environment, friendly staff, helpful, German, English, Afrikaans. So, and also we offer indulgent breakfast, and that's it. That makes us stand out, and that we are close to the beach. During COVID, we stayed open, but scaled down to 30%. I mean, there was nothing going on, no tourists coming in, but a few corporate workers we had. But also like working hours were different, shorter working hours, and unfortunately, as business was very little, we also had to let go a few staff.
How would you say you guys have recovered since COVID-19, and how has business been, seeing that we are just coming out of the festive season?
Oh, it's been going like crazy. We are very busy, like unexpected. Normally we always have just tourists in the summer months or when the European summer is, but now it's non-stop. So we are very happy.
Tell me, how many employees do you guys have at the moment?
We've got 9 permanently employees, and then we also take on job attachments for students to get their practical experience.
Is that a recent thing, or have you guys been doing it even before the pandemic?
We've done it before the pandemic, and it helped us a lot, and it also helped them.
Is it? Okay, tell me a bit about how the pandemic affected your guest house.
During COVID, we stayed open, but scaled down to 30%. I mean, there was nothing going on, no tourists coming in, but a few corporate workers we had. But also like working hours were different, shorter working hours, and unfortunately, as business was very little, we also had to let go a few staff.
How would you say you guys have recovered since COVID-19, and how has business been, seeing that we are just coming out of the festive season?
Oh, it's been going like crazy. We are very busy, like unexpected. Normally we always have just tourists in the summer months or when the European summer is, but now it's non-stop. So we are very happy. Right, and that was the Swakopmund Guesthouse down at the coast. And up next, we've got To the Point. Right, and this week we had one of our colleagues. She went down, it's Elvira Hatting. Not went down, she went up to Tsumeb. She actually lives in Grootfontein. And she had a look at the new mining museum that they've opened up in Tsumeb. So this new mineralogical and mining museum at Tsumeb was officially inaugurated this week. The museum is located in a building on the old mine site in town. It's actually quite close to the main, the original mine, right in the middle of town. The plan is to exhibit every type of mineral and precious stone that can be found in the town's mine to the public, while historical mine maps will also be preserved here. And if you've listened to the show for many months, you will know that we reported about it before. We actually drove up to Tsumeb and had a look when they did the old mining tower, redid that. And so they've been busy quite a lot down up in Tsumeb, and this is obviously the newest development. Have a look at the video.
These join me in raising your glasses or imaginary glasses for the official opening of this museum, and I hope that it will receive many visitors for the years to come. So thank you.
Thank you so
Yes.
much.
I would just like to announce something quite important that happened last year. The IUGS wanted the world to nominate geological heritage sites worldwide, and Namibia put Namibia on the map by nominating up to 5 geological sites, of which 3 were chosen amongst the first 100 IUGS geological heritage sites. And the Tsumeb ore body, I nominated the Tsumeb ore body as one of these, and it was accepted as one of the first 100 geological heritage sites in the world.
So I am very glad to see that now one important milestone of this plan has been completed with the opening of this museum to the public. This former historic mining site offers ideal conditions for conveying knowledge about the important geological, mineralogical and historical aspects that make up the Tsumeb mine and the mining town of Tsumeb. We saw on my research on the internet that there's 273 samples that are found in the area, but Mr. Frauci told me yesterday evening already that it's now over 300. And the plan is to display them all here in the museum. This project has a long history preceding it. It was already, as mentioned, in 2018, 2019, that the first restoration of one of the shafts took place, which was supported through the Foreign Office, through our cultural preservation program. And after or as this project was being completed, I visited here, Mr. Frauci showed me around, and he told me, we've discovered all these other buildings where also interesting projects could take place. And so an application was sent, and the Foreign Office decided to support this project here, the historical mineralogy, with 15,000 euros in order to repair the building and to get it into a shape so that it can be used as a museum. And also to preserve and safeguard the existing samples and map archives that are also, if you go through the room there. As mentioned, it was also decided in 2021 by the National Heritage Council of Namibia and the municipality to develop the historic site in Tsumeb as a national heritage site. Since then, various partners, both from Namibia and from Germany, such as the Tsumeb Museum, Dundee Precious Metal, the Berlin University of Applied Sciences, the Federal Institute for Materials Research, the BAM, which is very active, have been working on this implementation of the plan with financial support from the Federal Foreign Office. And beside this project, we actually have 2 others concurrently running here on site, the generator hall, which is being restored, and now, of course, our big project, the restoration of the Devet Tower, which has also, both projects have already started and are currently in the implementation phase, and will probably run until 2025, 2026.
I was reflecting on the importance of mineralogy, and there are 2 things that occurs to me. As a young metallurgist, I used to work at a uranium mine, the coast, and I used to work in the lab. Started my career as a student in the lab. In that lab, there was a specific gentleman, I think his name was Itterbeek, was a mineralogist, and his role, why the mineralogy lab existed at the time, we used to use these mineralogy labs when we were running the process, and there's a very difficult processes and make it difficult to achieve in the extractions of the minerals. We used to take samples, and he used to take them and go through the mineralogy, the compositions and the makeup to help us, the metallurgists, to be able to understand how to extract or how to adjust our processes. So the mineralogy for me started long time ago when I started an understanding, and I was really pleased to see when we started this project that we are going to deal with that part. The second time it occurs to me the importance of the mineralogy collection. I visited the US. There's a Smithsonian Institute in Washington, D.C. At that place, there is a room, probably this size, where they have collections of all the different minerals that came from Tsumeb. And there's a room, you go there, you spend the whole day. It was for me the first time to see how beautiful the minerals that came from Namibia are stored somewhere else, and people make use of that and visit. In fact, we pay to go and see Tsumeb stuff. And thirdly, every time when I meet all geologists, they are telling me that any geologist who studied in the early 70s and the 60s, it was their dream to complete their studies by visiting Tsumeb, because this is the only place on earth where we can find all the different minerals in one place. Now I'm hearing now is over 310 different minerals you can find it in this place. And I'm sure if you can continue, I'm sure that number is continuing. Somebody almost jokingly said that if you look on the periodic table, you might almost find each element there on the periodic table, you might find it in Tsumeb. I'm not sure how true it is, but that's how rich Tsumeb in terms of mineralogy it is, what we have found it here. Setting up this building and trying to collect and restore that knowledge, I think is a very significant. That's why I'm proud as Dundee Managing Director to be part of this project at the inception and to bring it to this level where we are now making the reality. This place, for all the university purposes and geological surveys, is a dream come true where people will come and look at this portion here. When I went around and looking at the maps and handwritten maps, it's difficult to visualize that as early as far as those people could draw those things. And I was talking to my colleagues who are mining engineers. They can't wait to come to Namibia and spend time here, because this is taking them to the core. And while they have chosen to be mining engineer, they can come and relive here. So I'm looking forward that this place will make small contribution to Tsumeb in terms of tourists, but also contribute immensely to knowledge, to history, and also probably activate or motivate young Tsumeb learners to move into the field of earth sciences so that they can come and continue and help and find minerals required for human development.
The Tsumeb Municipal Council is now busy to incorporate the Tsumeb industrial mining site into the town for all to enjoy and for it to contribute to the economic well-being of Namibia and our country that is rich in natural resources. These former historical mining sites offer an ideal condition for conveying knowledge about the importance of geological and mineralogical and historical aspects that make up the Tsumeb mines and the town itself.
Right, and that is our mining museum in Tsumeb. Always need to remember that Tsumeb must have one of the widest varieties of minerals in Namibia, not must have, has. In fact, it is even a known fact that for a single known site, Tsumeb rates amongst the highest number of minerals in the world. So quite nice to go there. So when next going to Tsumeb, have a look at the mining museum. That's the end of our show today, so keep well, and we'll be seeing you in another week's time. Until then, remain healthy and look after yourself. Bye.